Today I want to show you one of the smallest but most useful fish we have ever gotten in for taking care of string algae in a pond. For those of you who don't know what string algae is, that nasty weedy plant and that nasty tank is actually the perfect safe haven for these baby fry. You can actually see some of the ones that we got in a month or so ago, and they were up about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. But they grow extremely fast at this point. But that string algae is the weed that if you have a pond, you're probably all too familiar with. So string algae is just another plant in a pond. There's nothing biologically wrong with it. It's actually helping the pond pull out nutrients out of the water, making sure the pond stays healthy for fish. But we don't like it because it doesn't typically look all that great. So that's why we start looking at how can we control string algae in the pond, and how can we do it without chemicals? So that's why we started breeding tilapia and we started growing a roan out. The problem was most fish we buy in as a finished crop, we can't do that with tilapia because by the time you get to a 3 to 4 inch fish, where they're really eating a lot of volume of string algae, their fins are sharp, kind of like a sunfish in a natural pond. And so they can pop the bag, so they don't transport very well. And so we have to buy them in as a fry and then grow them out to about a 3 to 4 inch fish so that they're ready to go out into people's ponds come, say, late May, early June. Now, one of the coolest things about tilapia is, I can't really say the live bearers, but they lay their eggs, they fertilize the eggs, and then the female sucks the eggs up in her mouth. She may have 30, 40 eggs in there. I'm not sure on the quantity, but I know it's a lot, and probably even a lot more than that. And so she's just swirling those eggs in their mouth, protecting them and keeping the water circulating well around those eggs. Then once they've hatched, she may even keep them in her mouth for a little while until she feels that she can get them to a safe area. Then she'll release them into the water. Now, when I buy in fry, from many times we're getting in, say, fingerlings, already 3/4 of an inch, have a little girth to them. These little babies that we just got in have to be the tiniest things I've ever seen. And I want to see if you can even grasp from this video how tiny they really are. So this is how they come in. There's actually about 40 of these guys in here, and they're just extremely tiny. So that shows you how small they are to have an 8 or 10 inch fish have all these fish in their mouth together. Now, tilapia in general are the #1 used fish. Kind of a fun fact here for aquaculture, because they grow so fast. They can handle being tight quarters. They don't need a lot of chemicals or antibiotics or anything like that because they can tolerate poor water quality. So, but they can also take them from a tiny fish that big, maybe only of a 1/4 of an inch long, up to 1.5 pound fish in about 9 months. And that's extremely fast in the fish world. And so that's why it actually works out to our favor, is that we can get one of these really nasty looking aquariums and baby these fish and try to get them growing extremely fast, because I only have a couple months. They were supposed to be in months ago. We lost them in the cold snap, so now we're starting all over again. Luckily, we have leftovers from last year. Let me show you what a tilapia as an adult size really looks like. So this right here is what we would normally sell as a tilapia as a finished fish. So that fish has been held over from last year. It's a little bit bigger. That's about 6 inches long. So that 6 inch fish you just saw is the ideal size for putting inside a pond, because by the time they hit the 4 inch size, they're going to eat string algae aggressively. Throw a half dozen of them in an average sized pond. They do a pretty good job at maintaining string algae all season. But those little fish, in a matter of just months, will go from that little tiny 1/4 inch fish to a 4, 5, 6 inch fish. And that's with us just passively handling them on our small scale. So we're not intensively like cranking the food on them, although this time I will have to because they're a little bit late coming in. But it's amazing to me to see how they can go from so small to so large in a short period of time. Now imagine if they were only eating string algae in your pond, how much job they could do at keeping it clean. Hope that helps. Just kind of an interesting product. I love these little side projects we do here at the store. And if you come in seeing a really ugly looking aquarium, there's babies on board. Take care.